Okay. Good evening. Good evening. I am Justin Caraway, aka Jay Caraway, the host of this beautiful, wonderful, informative, exciting podcast known as Elev8. Um, Today is going to be pretty much the same topic as last week, which we touched on relationships. And for the example that we were using was the Will and Jada thing, the situation that they have going on. A lot of this is playing out in the media. A lot of this is, stuff that I know a lot of people have things to say, whether negative or, positive about it. I just wanted to give a brief disclaimer that the views on this show isn't necessarily to bash or put women down or to talk negative about women. This is a particular a particular situation that we're speaking on and how it portrays within the media and how it makes some women, not all women, how it makes some women feel about their relationships or how they view relationships or how they feel like they should operate in relationships. So now that I got that out the way, I will be having my guest from last week joining me again. Um, and we're just really going to pick up where we left off. I mean, I saw something that was really, really interesting that my fiance sent to me that Will Smith was, speaking on in regards of the relationship and saying that how his thoughts and his mind, he wanted to totally satisfy Jada sexually and he would die trying to do so. In my opinion, I mean, I understand that every man goes into a relationship wanting to be the best, period, in all aspects, whether that's romance, whether that's, you know, physically, mentally, financially, provider, everything, protection. We always want to be the best because it's just in us. I think that that's a part of our DNA. And I looked at that comment and I just felt like, yo, why? What's the point? Like, why are they doing? Why are they doing this in the media? And that's what really has me at this point of this is something that really needs to be talked about. This is something that we really need to get a better understanding of as a people because what we put ourselves in the media as portraying, a lot of people look at that and feel like that's the standard because Will and Jada are in the media limelight, in the media. A lot of people look at us or look at, other black people, or other black culture, other black relationships and say, well, that must be the norm. Before we get started, I do have another guest that will be joining me as well. I am so excited for her to join the podcast. Yes, I did say her, and I know she's going to have some wonderful, great, inspirational, also informative things to say. And once again, we don't have to agree on everything. We can agree to disagree, but as long as the respect and the love will always be there, I promise you that for sure. So before I bring in my guest, let me go ahead and just get started with a few comments. I want to give a shout out to Ben. Sorry, good evening, Ben, and Mr. Ivan Dawkins. I did receive my T-shirt, and shout out to the BS3 Network, our family. We're doing big things. We got a lot of things in store. I am so excited to be a part of this, and I am beyond thrilled to have such wonderful people to work with and also to learn from. Hey, Morita, how are you tonight? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, Ivan, did you like the intro? Ben helped me out. We finally got it figured out. I'm excited about that. Hey, cousin, what's up with you? What's up with you? So let's go ahead and bring in one of my guests This is my sister in love, not sister in law, but sister in love, because my brother does truly, truly love this woman. And so do I. She's been a true blessing to my brother and our family as a whole. And I will let her give her own intro. And also, this is a young woman that is a small business owner. And I want to really, I don't even want to say small. I want to say this woman is a business owner. This woman is, her hustle is one that I see and I acknowledge. And I love the fact that she's going to grace us with her time tonight. So let's go ahead with no further ado and bring in my guest.
Hi, Justin.
What's up? What's up? What's up? So I gave a little small intro, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you have the floor and also touch on the business to let people know where they can find you, how they can contact you, and just a way for them to be able to get some of those supplies that you have.
I know. Well, thank you so much for the introduction. I think it was really amazing. Like I don't So thank you. But I am Nikki Caraway. I am one of the owners of Crown Plus. And Crown Plus is several things. But for one, we are a luxury wig and hair store. We own a beauty supply store here in Forney, Texas. It is the only beauty supply store, and it's Black owned here in Forney. And we have an online store as well where we offer custom wigs and hair extensions. And we are also opening a beauty bar in a few weeks here in Forney, where we'll offer kind of like a day spa, full body waxing, massage, facials, lashes, so on and so forth. But I am happy to be a part of Elev8 tonight. Justin has had some wonderful topics. Last week, it was a great topic, and I'm happy that you do have a part two and I'm able to be a part. Just to give insight from a female's perspective, because last week I did speak with Justin off air to where I felt that some things were one-sided. And I just thought that it would be, a great idea to not only have a male perspective, but a woman's perspective. Not just opinion, but, what we live and what we see in everyday life outside of celebrity. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, number one, I just want to say happy Veterans Day to all the veterans.
Yes.
I totally almost let that slip my whole mind today, but happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. I know we have a few watching. Your husband is one.
Yes, he is.
I have several of them in my family. So happy Veterans Day to all, and thank you for your service. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we're doing now without your sacrifices. So definitely big salute, big shout out to you all. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, Nikki. Some of the things that me and you discuss, I totally understood and I agree with, and that's why I wanted you here, because it's so often that us as men, we don't understand the female perspective, because it's a lot of things that you guys, may not feel comfortable talking to us about or sharing with us, and vice versa. So the Will and Jada situation, to me personally, from a man's perspective, I don't know too many men that would feel comfortable with their significant other, let alone their wife, speaking about them in public like that, or saying some of the comments that she has made. Can we get your thoughts on that, please?
I agree. Not just on speaking on it, because we don't know exactly what their dynamic is, within their relationship, or, so on and so forth. From what we see, that Will does not speak a lot. He does have a book now that he's promoting, so we're hearing more and more, but he don't speak a lot. But I agree, a lot of men want, I think it's a level of respect. So I did not agree with that. My husband and I had a discussion literally right after your podcast last week, and he said this because I called him like, babe, what did you know? He's like, hold on, let me watch it. And he was in another state, but he watched it, and we discussed it a little further, and we discussed it the next morning as well. And he agreed. You know, it did make Will look, you know, a certain way. If you have we perceive him to be something else, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, so on and so forth. But as far as their relationship, I think a lot of things should be kept private. You know, nobody should know what goes on in your home, even down to finances, unless that's something you choose to share. But when it comes to, you know, all that entanglement and everything else that they've been discussed, that Jada has discussed, I think she's discussing it more because she has a platform. And a lot of times I've noticed, even with people that I know, social media can bring out, you know, certain platforms bring out a lot. However, she's trained to do that. So I think it's calculated, honestly. It really seems like it's calculated because Jada and Will have been silent for so long, or it seems like she's speaking before somebody else speaks. Just like, you know, the August Alsina thing, you know, it's like she had to come back and kind of play damage control or say something because he had said something. So it just seems odd, or I don't know, maybe they're giving us a glimpse of what their relationship is. If it's an open relationship, you know, whatever everyone thinks. I really don't know, but it seems like it's more damage control, or, you know, who knows? They could be at home laughing based on a reaction. I don't know.
But do you honestly feel like, you know, my question is, well, my thoughts are, in my opinion, I feel like there's jealousy there. I honestly truly feel like because Will has truly, his career is way bigger than what hers, you know, was projected to be.
See, Terrence agreed with you on that as well. And I didn't feel like that. I felt that, I don't know. I know that there can be envy within relationship. You know, if you get too much attention. I know for one, he was supposed to do a movie years ago, and he didn't do the movie because Jada wanted to do the movie and she didn't want, you know, or something like that come out. So it could be, but I don't think that's the reason that she's speaking now. I don't think so. I really honestly think it seems more like damage control, or she's trying to get in front of something else. Because there's been things that's been said, you know, rumors for years, to where it's like normal. So it could be that she's trying to get in front of something, or they can be on the brinks of divorce, or who knows. But I don't really think it's jealousy, but I could be wrong, because maybe I don't think that because I don't think like that, you know?
Right. And I think we do that is, you know, men and women in our own mind, we put things in a position of, okay, how would I handle a situation, or how do I go about a situation like that, or what are my particular, in particular, if it was me, how would I handle this, or what would I do? But in that situation, it's just so tough, because we've seen so much negativity come out of, I guess you could say, her side of the relationship, where there's things that, not saying that Will's perfect, not saying that he's not done things.
Yeah, they hit you with what?
Yeah, but it doesn't get the attention that she gets. And the movie that you're
Will has been seen on yachts with women, like seriously, hugged up, kissing. Yes,
I haven't heard those reports.
I've seen the pictures. Yes.
So
I follow blogs.
Exclusive stuff.
You know, we're nosy. Like, we follow blogs. And I remember like a photo, and it's like, I mean, allegedly, but he was kissing this woman. I don't know if it wasn't for a movie, because they were on like vacation, and this is supposed to have been like a long-term girlfriend. Because you have to remember, Jada and Will were not like in the public like that. Like, everyone, they were like a mystery, and everyone like idolized their relationship, just like Beyonce and Jay-Z or whomever else, you know what I'm saying? So they weren't, not me per se, but I'm just saying how, you know, people perceive celebrity. But yeah, I remember a photo had come out. I was following a page, is it Gossip of the City or something like that? Famous. It was years ago.
Okay.
And it resurfaced like, yeah, she's still around. Like this is like a normal thing.
Got you.
And it was like normal because Jada was dating whoever else.
But see, that's what's so weird to me. Like you hear about, what Jada's doing or what she got going on. And the reason I always say there's jealousy within that relationship is because the movie was The Matrix and Keanu
Mm-hmm.
Reeves, the main role, they were pitching that to Will. And the reason he turned it down was because Jada said she didn't necessarily want to take the role if Will took it because it was going to make it seem like they just gave it to her because her husband had the role. And
Okay.
at that point, you got to remember, Will Smith was already Man in Black, Wild Wild West. He was, Independence Day. He had already became the Will Smith that you see today, or well on his way to it. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air was, no more. But I think that, and once again, this is just my opinion. I think that she looked at Will as competition, so to speak, instead of looking at him as this is my husband. He has a brand. It's a beautiful thing, and I want to support him. But I mean, like you said, each household is ran differently. I totally respect, everyone's decision to make their own choices, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
don't you don't want to put your man in that type of light to make that man look bad. So
So what happens when men put women in a light to make them look bad? Because we always say you don't want to put your man, like what happens when, because men do that a lot. And we have to be honest here and say, um, we hear so much about Jada and less about Will. That's like normal. You hear more about what the woman did and what the man did is kind of like it's,
in
behind the curtains, like, or it's not like brought to the forefront because you expect that from a man, or it's like he gets a pass, he's a man. Just like you can't take what you dish, right? But the things that women do are always like in the forefront. Mind you, what Jada's doing right now, she's putting it out there. But I'm just saying, you said we've heard about this for years. Who else have we heard about? Just the because I've seen a thing and the speculation of Tupac.
well, the Tupac thing to me was more so, like I said last week, that was her guy that imprinted her. That was her, in
That was
my
her best friend.
opinion. Okay. I'm not saying like in a like physical or sexual manner. I mean, that guy obviously left an impression on her that she felt like it almost comes off as like, this is the standard here. This is what I want out of a man. This is a
Yeah,
man.
and Will spoke on it. I saw excerpts. Whatever. These braces. Okay, it's really annoying right now. But they spoke. Someone spoke about that today. I read that he said that not that he was envious of Tupac, but he like hated him in a sense then because he wanted like he something about he hated that he couldn't be the man that he was or something to Jada. Like he tried to live up to that and he never could.
But why? In this is a great segue to bring in my second guest. Uh, this young man is I don't even have really words to describe it. If you know him, you know him. You saw him last week. He's back again to help with the part two. Once again, this is the views and opinions of individuals that at the end of the day, I know that we're all respectful. I know that we all love and care about one another. So I don't want anyone, whether it's comments, whether it's, someone said something that may trigger you or make you feel a certain way. I don't want anyone to take it out of context or take it personally because last week my phone did blow up and I had a lot of women on my head about how could you say that? You da 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 da. So that's why I'm so glad you were able to join us today, Nikki, because we need the female's perspective. But with no further ado, let me go ahead and bring in my brother, CJ Boyd. CJ, what's up, man?
Okay, so I'm in the building. First off, is this your cousin, sister?
Now, that's my sister in love. That's my brother's wife.
Oh, okay. How are you doing, Miss
Caraway.
Nikki? How? Oh, okay, Miss. Okay, Miss Nikki Carey. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, CJ. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. This is hey. Just by the way, yeah. This is so this would be your brother-in-law, right?
Justin,
Brother-in-law.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, Justin is an amazing dude. He actually showed up to my baby shower. Justin, you an amazing dude, man. I love you to the bottom of my heart. You my guy. Maybe the alcohol talking, but I'm very still conscious. I mean, I was kind of getting into some of the stuff you were saying, Nikki. But I'll let JC mediate, and then I'll come in when I feel like I'm needing. So go ahead, go ahead. You got
Okay.
it. Go ahead.
So I mean, Nikki made a great point that I think us as men really need to take a look at ourselves and listen to this, and if this is something that we feel rings true, which obviously a lot of us don't feel that way, but
Right.
from the female perspective, this is what she's saying is what she feels is
Mm-hmm.
really when a man does what Jada does to Will, it's almost like swept under the rug, or it's expected for him to go out and cheat or go out and have a side piece, so to speak. But
Right.
you know,
Right.
like
Especially if he can afford it. I've heard women who have
okay,
said that.
yeah, and that rings true. I mean, to be quite honest with you, we all know how it goes. The more, if you have the resource, as far as the financial resource, you can buy a woman's attention. And, that doesn't ring true for every woman, but it rings true for a lot of, I would say, young, impressionable women that may not understand their worth or may not have that experience yet where a guy like a Will Smith, it's plenty of women that'll be like, yeah, I know all about his marriage, but that's Will Smith, you know what I'm saying? Or you got to look at some of these athletes or some of these entertainers that have that stigma about them where it's women lust after them, like a lot of older women look at a LL Cool J or Denzel Washington, and you can't tell me like, okay, if they had an opportunity, if Denzel or LL told them, look, you got, this night with me and this night only, a lot of those women will be like, okay, I already know I have nothing to offer this man. I'm not going to take him away from his wife. So let me just put myself out there. And for me personally, my views on that is women, if they're intimate with a man, it's because one or two things. Either they see the potential of building something with that man, or they strictly just a physical, they're lusting after this man, but that will impact them for the rest of their lives. Your thoughts, Nikki?
First, okay.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay, I like it. I agree with that.
Wow, you
Yeah,
agree with
I
it?
agree because I'm 36 and I've met a few women, around my age or even older who think like that. Um, so yeah, when you say women, if they're physical with the guy, they probably lust after when they see potential. Everybody don't it's not like majority of women do fall into these situations because of the potential, and then they may end up disappointed in the end. Or a lot of women it's like 30 and plus, even 50s, it's all lust. It's like, let me just get what I can get in a sense.
So question for that. Why does that make a man a bad guy when when he's put in that position or put in those type of situations. Because from my understanding, if you look at a Will and Jada situation, I'm pretty sure women throw themselves every day at Will Smith. But if you look at that situation, my biggest argument is with Will, it's not as publicized. Will never goes out and says, I don't want to say negative things, but he doesn't say things that make people feel like, wow, it got to be a problem in that relationship.
But Jada didn't too until that entanglement stuff had come out. That she was like, they were silent. She's always been the outspoken one. You can tell the difference in their relationship. She's always been very vocal, but they never really spoke about that, about their relationship. Because I can remember for years, people just speculated.
So let me ask CJ this question. Do you feel that Jada wants to, quote unquote, wear the pants in the relationship or run the relationship?
Absolutely. First off, shout out to your son. I see him in the background. He was running around while Ava was wrapping her presents and whatnot. So, he cool. But I definitely agree with you. You know what I'm saying? She definitely wants to run. She's not staying in her place. And let me be real respectful when I say, oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, we're gonna get to absolutely. Right. So let's keep it a trill. Will is the bigger star.
Okay.
If Jada Pickett didn't have the Smith in her name, I'm not gonna say she would be irrelevant. No, she wouldn't be relevant today. I'm gonna say this, right? So,
Jada?
and yeah, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Jada Pickett. Jada Pickett.
Hey, Jada Pickett, no Smith. That's what I call her. Jada Pickett, no Smith, because you don't even deserve to be a part of the Smith clan with your toxicity, toxicness, whatever. But me personally, see, so this is what happens when you have a woman that. And now mind you, I'm pro-black. I'm all for the black woman. I'm gonna always ride for my black queen. So let's get that so let's get that understood. You know what I'm saying? That's one reason why we're talking about them, because they are a black family.
Okay.
Only reason. So with that being said, Jada Pickett Smith, so for one, I really feel like she's doing too much. Like Will Smith has spoke, like his work has spoke for himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fresh Prince, Men in Black, Our Robot, Independence Day. He was a rapper. Do you not know he won a Grammy?
Jada had babies.
Huh?
She had babies. That's why she went like she let him do his thing.
No. Absolutely. That's why she's relevant, because she had Will Smith's babies.
No, that's why she didn't work as much, because she was a mom and she raised her kids.
Absolutely. So if she's a mom and she's raising her kids, why can't she just hold it down if you have the stature of a Will Smith? Because do you not know how many ladies would just love to have a Will Smith? Like the type of guy Will Smith is. He don't seem like the type of guy that be.
How do we know what type of guy Will Smith is?
We know what type of guy.
The perception.
Stop it.
Yeah,
no, it's not just
we speaking on honestly. That's what it is, because they're in the eye of the media. We're totally speaking on perception, because none of us know them personally, so we're all speaking from a. Number one, I hear you, CJ, and I know you're speaking from a male's point of view. And Nikki, of course, you're speaking from a female's point of view. But this conversation is really just to, sort of hear each other out. Because when we see things like this, and this is from a male's point of view, when we see things like this play out in the media, you wonder how your significant other feels. You wonder, if I was in that situation, would my woman, handle things like that? Or I'm pretty sure you as a woman, you probably wonder, would Terrence handle things like that? Would he, be comfortable
That's
enough to
actually
say
was
it?
something I wanted to ask. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but as a woman, would you handle the things that Jada's been doing about your man? And I'm gonna
Well, I wouldn't do
and
that.
that's all I'm gonna say. Okay,
No,
Right.
okay.
I
So
wouldn't
you
speak.
wouldn't do that,
No, I
but
wouldn't speak
why
like
wouldn't
that
you do that though?
because I feel like it's part of it is disrespectful. I'm not agreeing with what she spoke on.
Okay, okay, okay,
My
okay.
concern was like on last week's episode was when you all
Mm-hmm.
discussed things that women should do, what they shouldn't do. When y'all spoke on the
Right,
Black
right.
woman, y'all really
Mm-hmm.
kept making it like
Oh, technical difficulty.
Oh no, Nikki, you
y'all
about to
kept
drop the
There she goes.
truth.
She back. She
No.
back. She back.
There she goes.
I'm
She back.
sorry.
She back.
Y'all kept emphasizing like Black women. Now, as far as her speaking on it, no, I don't think she should speak on that. But who knows? That could have been like I said, it's calculated. You think they didn't speak about that before she brought that out? I'm sure every tweet, every post, or everything is like, scrubbed prior to being posted. I'm sure Will was aware, but I wouldn't do that. A lot of things, depends on the dynamics of your marriage.
Right.
I respect my husband to a different degree, not just because he's my husband, but because of, who he is and how I want him to be portrayed, to others as well. And I expect that same respect. So no, I wouldn't do that. Because I believe a lot of things should be private. But we don't know if it's that's why I said it's calculated. This could be calculated just so we can discuss it. Because I'm sure they're making money off of it somehow.
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, and I'm seeing Alicia's comment, that's the dynamic of their relationship. And I agree. It is their relationship. And, it's just how when me and CJ spoke last week, it was just how Black men are portrayed in the media. We're already portrayed as absentee fathers. We're already portrayed as, bottom of the barrel as far as the dating scene is concerned. We're already portrayed. And when I say that, it's because Black men are really looked at as you have no standards when it comes to the dating world. And believe me, I know this because most
You're a
of
Black
us,
man.
yeah, I'm a Black man, but most of us are portrayed as, okay, a Black man will date anything under the sun. If a white woman is, looked at as she's not accepted by the white community, what community does she go to? And, other situations that me and CJ spoke on as well, that's why I love having him on this show because his point of view, we may not agree on everything, but we're right there. We're close, and the same thing for you, Nikki. Like, there's always going to be a difference of opinion, but the thing is to be able to learn from each other. And that's why I'm glad you two are able to join me today. So just not to jump off the topic, but what I found extremely funny, I was watching TV today and I'm seeing the Popeyes commercial of Meg the Stallion. And I'm sorry, but to me that just made it hurts.
What was it? What did she do in the commercial?
I mean, they had her song playing. What is it? Hands on my knees, popping.
Yeah, hands on my knees, something like
Yeah,
whatever.
and then she's walking like, try my new hottest sauce. Like, oh, damn, man. Like, honestly, it's things like that where I couldn't help but laugh at first, but then I thought of it in the bigger picture, and I'm like, damn, no wonder they look like, because
they look at no wonder they look at us Black people as like clowns or something.
They look at us like, what Jada is doing to Will is pretty much like, well, Black women are difficult to deal with. Black women are very headstrong. I'm not saying that from my perspective.
No, we are headstrong. I agree with that.
Yes,
but I don't know about difficult.
Right, but they're not agreeable. Let's say that. So that's what I'm saying. The perception of Black women is, and you can ask other people outside of the Black race. You can ask a white guy or a Hispanic guy, and I guarantee you, he will tell you this if he's being honest with you. Black women are known to be non-agreeable, very confrontational and submissive, forget about it. And that's the perception that I feel like you and my brother are changing as far as y'all's relationship and y'all marriages, blossoming and blooming
but we had to grow through some things.
right, absolutely. But that's a testament to a black man. And just like CJ said, don't get it twisted. I love my black women. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like me personally, could I see myself, necessarily being elsewhere as far as, without being with a black woman? It's very hard for me because I feel like no one else would understand my struggle like a black woman would. But at the same time, I think a lot of black women have the perception, and I'm not saying all, but a lot have the perception of that's my man. I can, whatever, run the show.
But you know what that comes from, Justin? So we're looking at it on the surface, right? Let's take, and I know you know history too, so let's look at it deeper than that. Like, why are black women like that? They took care of, like, the babies, even in like slavery. You know what I'm saying? They, like, the black woman has always like had to make something happen, right? The majority of black women are probably, not the majority, but a significant amount of black women are single mothers or, working 2 to 3 jobs at a time. You know what I'm saying? Like, really making it happen. Looks like we lost Justin. How did that happen?
Man, how we lose the host? See, because I was about to chime in right when you was going in on. See, because I'm very historical when it comes to. Okay, there we go. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nikki.
So a lot of that attitude comes from that having to, always be on your toes, like make sure that everything is okay and not being protected. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of black women in general, but a lot of black women, since we're speaking on black women, have not always felt protected from years and years. That could be from, absent fathers. It could be from molestation. It could be from just, like I said, working several jobs, doing this, that, and the third. And then then you add in a man who, like you said, some black men live up to that stereotype too. They may not hold a job, or they may, just different things. So a lot of times with black women, you have to be able to pull back those layers to understand why they're like that. And it's not all, and I hate that we have that stereotype, but we are strong because we've had to be strong, Yeah. And that strong was the only option. So when you say, okay, well, maybe you should just listen more and just be silent, or, just go with the flow. And it takes trust in order to feel and to feel secure. And a lot of black women don't have that. We have to learn that because that wasn't taught. What we saw was mama working hard, grandma making it happen, grandma cooking, cleaning, never got rest, this, that, and the third, Right. So our upbringings were a lot different than other cultures, than Hispanics, Hispanics are a lot similar, but then Caucasians, so on and so forth. Our households are different. Even now, how we raise our children.
So I want to touch on what you just said. You said Hispanics. I got you, CJ.
Okay, cool. Because I got you, Nikki. Nikki, I got you on the history. But go ahead, Justin. Go ahead. I got you.
What you said about, the Hispanic culture being similar. One thing I can see and one thing I can say about that is, well, I don't see Hispanic women being so confrontational with their man. Or, yes. I agree that, black women had to be tough. I mean, I was raised around nothing but strong, independent black women. And I thank God for that, because that helped shape and mold me into the man you see today. But I agree with you that a lot of black women suffer and struggle with that aspect of the relationship. And I mean, for you to admit that is big. And I think that
I admit it because I lived it. You know, like, in a sense, like I said, what me and Terrence have, we had to grow through some things, but I trust him and I love him enough. And I know that that's my security. So I can be calm. I can be, I can focus on something else. I don't always have to be, because I know that he's gonna take care of that. He's gonna protect me physically, emotionally, financially, every way that it should be in a sense, for our dynamic. So I don't have to be like that. But because I have lived that, I know why a lot of women are like that. Or because I do have conversations with some of my close peers who are like that. We have these similarities, and it's because we had no choice.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. Do you feel, because one thing that you touched on was Black women not feeling protected.
Hey, Melissa.
And
hey, Melissa.
one thing you touched on was Black women not feeling protected. And that's us as Black men. I think that we can all say this. We're very, very protective of what our relationship or our significant others. Like CJ made a comment last week of, when you're out and a man is trying to, like talk to your woman or give your woman attention, how it's just in you to be naturally like, yo, chill out. You know what I'm saying? Or so for me, I don't really understand that. I think that, I give you the situation that happened in Ohio when the Black woman was at the nail place getting her nails done, and the manager said something wrong to her, and it was a big ordeal. And it was a Black guy that went up there and defended her, and actually was trying to boycott. I think it was either a nail place or a hair salon, one. But he was asking for Black people to boycott that store in particular. And Black women, because they marked everything down 50% off, guess who was standing in that line covering their faces when he had them on camera? Like, what are you doing? I'm trying to protect you here. And that's what's tough for me to really understand that is, okay, well, how do you feel like you're not protected when you look at what Black men have to go through on a daily basis?
Well, it could be family. It could be how you were raised. Remember, I mentioned absent fathers, and then I mentioned child molestation. Or just certain things that a lot of Black women have experienced.
Gotcha.
But I do know that Black men do protect us. Because I've experienced it. For example, like, I won't drink if I'm out. I won't drink unless Terrence is with me. Or just certain things. If I have an issue with something at the store or any encounter with a man, I call Terrence. Like, hey, like with contractors or with just different things, or social media, for example, like we had a community Facebook page, and a guy said something to me, so I tagged Terrence. Like, just certain things like. You do feel protected in a sense when it comes to a lot of Black women don't have that, and then when we do get it, sometimes we have to like learn that this is like normal, because it's like this feels awkward, or why are you like this, or because you're so used to being on point all the time, 100% of the time.
Okay. So CJ, we're sorry. I know I've seen you giving me the church like, excuse me, let me go to the go ahead, the floor is yours.
So thank you. So I'm gonna respond to Nikki. And this is coming from, I am so into the Black community, I understand. So the whole history of the Black woman, you have to understand the whole history of the Black woman. Y'all were viewed as nothing but masturbation tools. You feel what I'm saying? There's nothing. Y'all were slaves that was looking at y'all. Hey, because I ain't gonna lie. Black women, hey, they were looking at all that ass in the back. They were looking at this in the front. They said, "Ooh, I want that one." So
that's how some Black men look at us now.
Right. And I got you. So y'all were used just for masturbation tools. Y'all were used for all that. Then 1864 came, Emancipation Proclamation. I forgot how to say it, but basically y'all got freed, right? And that means, so y'all free now. But it didn't really start happening until around 1866, 1867, because they didn't have email. They didn't have an iPhone saying, hey, y'all niggas free now. Y'all ain't got to be getting whipped and all that stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all developed and most slaves were sharecroppers, and it would be male sharecroppers, and y'all would just stay home and just, raise the babies. So, so to get to where y'all from back then, to get to where y'all from now, is incredible. I will never tell, everybody has their own, like every group has their own struggles. I say there is nothing like the Black struggle. There is nothing in this world you can tell me and have me think, oh, Mexicans had it harder. Oh, Asians had it harder. Hell no. They
because of that struggle, it's why,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So here's what I'm getting at, right? So then let's fast forward into today, right? We live in a very, I'm not going to say a very weird time, but people are starting to do a lot more openings. They're starting to open their minds. There's because you remember back in the day, the man would just work his ass off doing 12-hour shifts, and the woman was just supposed to stay in the kitchen and just cook collard greens or whatever he wanted. Now y'all are able to get an education. As a matter of fact, do you not know women are now going to college more than men now? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's because y'all have that chip on that shoulder, and you say that
what's
you
the
don't
chip?
feel. What's the chip?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because you're a woman.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Now, let me be, let me just, try to clear up the air. I'm not saying that because you are a woman, you have a chip on your shoulder, but realistically speaking, I'm like the 70s, kind of around, because it was a whole bunch of things as far as women not getting accepted into colleges. They would choose these men, but it's like it's gonna flip now. I'm talking about in the 21st century. Now you have a whole bunch of women I see all these doctors and psychiatrists and all that other stuff, right? So I'm saying all that to get to your point now. Now you say you don't feel protected, Black men ain't protecting us. And part of that, I take responsibility. As a Black man, we have to uplift our Black queens. You know what I'm saying? Just like how I expect my Black woman to submit to me as a Black man, a Black man should only submit to a Black woman. You feel what I'm saying? Because just like how Justin, or I believe you said, we only know our struggle, and people want to say, oh, y'all should be open-minded. Oh, do you not know Caucasian people, white people, they only trade with each other? Arabics, when they want to do all that gas stations and when they want to buy property, they only deal with each other. So there's nothing wrong if we only do that with each other. And I feel like, us as Black men, now, I feel like, back in the day, because I said on the last podcast, I said Black men, we are the most, they say the Black woman is the most, oh, they have a lot to go through. Nah, my sister, the Black man has a lot to go through, because
Black women are the bottom of the barrel in some people's eyes, in a lot of eyes.
No, right.
Yeah, it's just Black people in general that is viewed that way.
Yeah.
Right. I just only give y'all that little bit of an edge because, to be honest, y'all got that thing down there, and if y'all get the right dude, like how Jada did, oh, you set, you good. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a trail, but but the Black man has to almost establish himself to be worthy of the Black woman's attention. Now sometimes I'm not saying that for all women. I am not saying that for all women. That is for immature women that are not, because to be honest, women see a lot more potential. And that's why I give y'all the credit. Women have a lot more of the, y'all should, and I'm just, more mature women, y'all should see the potential of a man than we do as, for women, because and I said this on the previous podcast,
at a certain age.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true. At a certain age, y'all see the potential of, what? This brother might not have it now, but eventually he will have it. So I may need to stick around, because when it is good, he's going to remember, what? That Black woman held me down. You know what I'm saying?
In your 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. In your 20s, I'm not like above 30, so I don't know how dating and potential works when you're in your 30s. I'm not, I'm not saying you are in your 30s,
I'm
but
36.
okay. You see, black don't crack. See, I like that. You know
Thank
what
you,
I'm
thank you,
saying?
thank you.
No, yeah, but but seriously, a question I have for you is, do you feel, well, you know what would us as black men needs to do to maybe uplift the black woman? And I'll just leave the floor to you.
Hold on before you get to that.
That's a good question. Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, before
Oh yeah, but
I will say this, that as a black man myself, I will say that education is pushed more towards black women by design more than
that's true.
anything, because honestly, we have that reputation, and just like we all agreed on, it's not just black men and black women that are labeled bottom of the barrel. But as a black man, it seems to be a little bit more, because you're the prison the prison pipeline system is really, that's black men, you know. So
Yep.
I gotta say this real quick. I definitely have to agree with my aunt. She said I need to read my comments more, and I'm still new to this podcast thing, so I'm getting used to it, but I'm gonna get better. But my cousin Alicia said we make it more about black men versus black women when both have the same struggle every single day. Well, I don't feel that way. I feel like we have to correct that energy. We have to be able to talk to each other and not talk at each other. And that's one thing I can say about this particular show and this panel today. We're able to talk to each other and get a better understanding, which is going to help in the long run of things. So, mind you, CJ and Nikki never met, but I know that these are two level-headed people that have the understanding of, okay, your opinion may not be mine, my opinion may not be yours. We may not agree. It's okay to agree to disagree. And like you were saying, CJ, you feel as if black men should only be with black women. Well, I totally disagree with that. And the reason that is because, like Nikki said, in your 20s, when black women are dating, or even before your 20s, in high school, when black women are dating, they're usually wanting the cute guy, or the jock, or the popular guy. That's usually what they want. It's not until later years in their 30s, when life, or later on in life, when they maybe have a kid, or maybe they start realizing, oh shoot, my looks ain't gonna carry everything, or oh shoot, I got to get serious about life. That's when they become so concerned about, what are you able to do? What is your financial situation? Are you able? Not saying that's gold digging, but you have to put yourself in a position of, are you able to provide for yourself? And if you're able to provide for yourself, we come together, we can provide and build for each other. And that's one thing I think a lot of young black women are missing. And I want to get back to my comments. And Aunt Weta, thank you so much for pointing that out to me. I got so lost in this conversation where I left my viewers, I ain't even read my comments. I apologize. So good question. Okay, so Nikki, I want to go ahead and give you the floor so you can answer CJ's question. And if you forgot, CJ, please repeat that question for him.
I did not forget. As a black young man, or just men in general, how do we uplift our black queens? Because forget what Justin talking about. I'm all for it. Need to be brother and sisters around here. I don't like the whole interracial thing. I feel like if you're a black man and you don't submit to a black woman, I feel like you a little weird. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But just to keep it on talking, go ahead, Nikki. So how do we uplift the black woman? And just tell me, what do we have to do, to get y'all up to put y'all in different light. Go ahead, Nikki. The floor's yours.
I've been thinking about that question maybe for like the last 10 minutes while Justin was talking.
Sorry.
Honestly, I have been. I think starting with not pointing out the things that they are doing wrong and comparing to other races, because I heard a lot of that last week on the podcast. And, you know, point out the things that they are doing right, or, you know, encourage, or, you know, just, I think that's a little encouragement goes a long way, and not comparing.
Right.
Because a lot of Black women do feel like they're the bottom of the barrel. Like, think about it. Like, even I have a teenage daughter, and I'll never forget when she was in middle school. She said, so she was like one of the only Black cheerleaders, right? Or she would be like the only Black girl in certain circles. And she said that her Black friend, male friends, this is middle school, they would say they will only date white girls. And they would say, I don't like Black girls. Black girls are ugly, but you're different, Lyric. And so she would come home and say, what does that mean? Why am I different? Like, they would automatically think that Black women are ugly or we're dirty, you know, things like that, because that's how the world, you know, our society perceives Black women a lot of times, right? Think about like when you see a lot of celebrities, you know, it's like fair skin or the mixed race or Hispanic or even white, you know? But I'll settle for a Black woman, you know? So I think this uplifting and, I don't know, really focusing on the positive of Black women versus the negative, and not comparing.
Well, I mean, I will say this, as a Black man, it's extremely difficult for us to hear that, be not compare. And the reason I say that is a lot
do you hear Black women comparing Black guys to white men?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you think a Black woman would prefer a white man over a Black man?
Usually when a Black woman, I wouldn't say prefer.
Take it away, Justin. Justin, let your in-law know. Just let them know. Go ahead, brother.
I'm listening.
I wouldn't say they prefer white men over Black men, but when it comes to being, I don't even want to say protected, but when it comes to being in a position of financially, I'm okay, or a standard of, look at how this man treats his woman. Most Black women look at white women and envy that. And
I don't know those Black women.
Oh, I know a lot of them.
Really?
If you want to take it a step further, you can go back and you can look at the civil rights movement and those laws that were in place that were Black men on the front line fighting for. A lot of those laws that were put in place, they benefited not only the Black woman, but it became the white woman that benefited from it as well, because Black women got played by white women, because white women made it seem like, oh, yeah, we need to vote as well. We need to have.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Black women looked at white women saying, oh, this can be our allies here. They're going to help us better ourselves. And that came at the expense of the Black man, to be quite honest with you. And that goes back to what CJ was saying. It's more Black women that are educated or in college or have degrees and have all these fantastic things. I'm not taking away from that. But you have to take in consideration, your Black man may not have that same opportunity that you had. And it's a reason behind it. And I know we can all speak on that. Let me get back to my comments. And if I didn't answer that well enough, CJ, please do. Mika, I totally agree. She was answering the question with you, Shanika, about, just seeing Black women, communicating with Black women, loving them through.
I love her answer.
Which is so true. I think a lot of us as Black men, we do love you guys through things. We do
Express that. Be expressive. Like Mika said, communicate.
But it's hard. That's a great one. It's hard for us as Black men to do that when we were never taught that. As a Black man, you're taught to be strong, be tough, go out there and conquer the world. At 18 and 17, you walk across that high school stage, it's basically
college or the military.
Yeah, good luck. We love you. We know you're going to do something great, make us proud. But you're not taught those things. You're not taught what's to come within the real world. And, honestly, I love my Black women. I totally do. But I see things in my everyday world, and I see how I am raising Black boys of my own, and I want to establish things. I want, me and Melissa, we just talked about this. We're starting now, and Justice is in pre-K, but we've already started the routine of we're going to read to him 30 minutes at night to go ahead and get him accustomed to, look, I need you to be able to pick a book up and read it. It's a reason that we struggle with education as Black men. Do you know Black men are the lowest percentile of reading in America? It's Black men. And that's a testament because every time we speak of Black women having to raise kids, work 2 or 3 jobs, and you ask yourself, where's the Black father? And someone left a comment as well that was saying, here we go, right here. Let's read this. Marry your children's mother, build a home, and I cannot see it.
And generational wealth.
Yeah, and generational wealth. So that's great that you say that. It's great that you want that. But you have to know what generational wealth is. You have to know what that looks like. And also, this is, to piggyback off the conversation that was had on Queen 3 and King, when they talked about Black women having I made the comment of Black women having so many different methods of birth control and understanding who you're choosing to have a child with. You can't go out here and get a knucklehead because he the cool cat, or girl, he look good, or he sling that wood. You can't do that and have a baby with him and then expect him to be something that he's not, because mentally he's not there. And if we want to get personal, I can speak on that. I had my first child at 25, and mentally, I was not ready to be a father. So I find myself now at 36 trying to push back in my son the time that I feel like I missed with him. And not necessarily missing the time, but just not educating.
Mentally, yeah.
Yeah, like not giving, like I always show my sons love, but not actually spending that time as far as, no, let me correct you on this, or let me help you with this. Let me show you daddy can be hands-on. And even now when he's over here, he's like, Dad, okay, get off of me. Like, because I treat him like I treat Justice. Like, look, man, I'm finna hug you. You gonna know. And, you already know, Shanika, of Nikki, I'm sorry. You already know.
Why did I tell Terrence if you commented on this podcast, I was hanging?
I'm sorry, it's a habit. But me and my brother, like we struggled with that within our own relationship with our father. As far as even
that's why communication is so important, and that's why Terrence and I were able to have been able to grow through things because of communication, because of that similarity. Like you said, the struggles that y'all had, but Black men don't talk about those things. So when you're able to talk about it, then you're able to work through it,
But being able to talk about it and work through it is great. But knowing how to, and like I said, I didn't talk to Melissa about this or anybody about this. I made it up in my own mind of, I know what my relationship was, and I don't want my kids to have to deal with that or go through that. So even now, like as my father is progressing in age, the time that I do get to have with him, I'm going to make the best of it. Yeah, we're all human. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have shortcomings. But at the end of the day, I never once doubted that man's love for his children, because financially he may have been there. And that's where most of us as Black men, we mess up, because we feel as if the financial aspect of things.
It's enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can definitely point the finger to myself because at 25, that's what I felt like. Hey, what do you need? Okay, good. Boom, boom, boom. You good? All right, we good. Okay, not realizing and understanding that I'm raising this little boy and he got to look at me one day and say, I'm proud of him, or I love him, or that's my, like, CJ, you're about to experience this as being a Black father. Your son is going to look at you as, that's my superhero, straight up. Because although, yes, they have cartoons and things to look at, but when it boils down to it at the end of the day, trust me, man, we mean so much to not only our Black sons, but our Black daughters as well. And Shanika, I know you can speak to that because when we set that tone as men, it's nothing like a man being present. Love our women to death, but it's nothing like a man's presence, whether it's disciplining, whether it's nurturing, whether it's loving, whether it's providing. And I want to set the tone, and CJ, I'm challenging you to do this once your son is born. Make sure he see you and your girl hugged up. Make sure he's able to witness you two showing each other love and affection, because that's what I feel like with this whole Will and Jada thing. That's what I feel like we're missing as a community. We don't see that too often. When we always hide behind the fact of you do things like that behind closed doors. Absolutely, I agree. Certain things should be behind closed doors. But when it comes down to the perception of Black men and Black women, there has to be a change. So that's just going back to what Alicia was saying. Yes, it's not necessarily about a black woman versus Black men. It's about getting an understanding and making a change, because this problem has been going on way before anyone on this podcast probably was born. And that narrative has to change. And I honestly feel like Black women have that tough exterior that's called inherent trauma, because Black women were
You hit it. That's true.
Black women
That's
were.
the first thing I agree with you.
But now, CJ, and even with you, like, dude, I love your thoughts, and I agree with what you're saying as far as pushing the narrative of a Black man to don't look at that woman as bottom of the barrel. Don't look at that woman as last choice. Look at that woman as your equal. Look at that woman as someone that understands your struggle. And it just reminds me of an old saying when you used to always hear old folks say this: if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. and you know what I'm saying? So for me, I look at that and I'm just like, that's really interesting. But I feel totally different about it. I feel like if for a Black man, if it's a Hispanic woman that's gonna treat you the way you need to be treated or want to be treated, you be with that Hispanic woman. If it's a white woman, you be with that white woman. I'm not gonna look at you as less than the man, but I do understand and realize that, okay, your connection may not have to be about your struggle. Your connection may be, you know what, this is what I'm from, or this is what I experienced, and now I want to grow within, or I want to grow within this relationship to better my situation, to pass it on to other generations. I'm sorry, I know I was long-winded. Go ahead, CJ.
Nah, you're good. No, you're good. No, I was just So what I was gonna say, I was gonna tackle a lot because I know y'all. I feel like we're going like a circle. It's like Justin, then me, then Nikki, then But what I was gonna say was, it's not that I look at you less of a man, but I mean, truthfully, and that's just a me thing. It's just a me thing, and Justin, and my history, if in a opinion, if you don't submit to a Black woman, then I don't know what you want. And this ain't me just this isn't me like trying to be like, I guess what I'm trying to say, trying to like just cater to a specific racial group. It's my racial group. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
so
right.
Of course I'm pro-Black. So I'm gonna support anything that's Black. Now, with that being said, it's not just systematic oppression, it's psychological oppression. Because, like I said in the last podcast, do you not know there were men getting they shit clapped in front of they black woman? So like so just like a little recap. Recap. The black woman sees, oh my God, this strong man I just thought was just a strong man. He just got his anal violated. He just got his ass whooped in front of the black woman. So therefore, and it's a saying, you have to destroy the image of a man before you kill him. So you're destroying that image of a strong black man, and you're saying, you know what, because of that's what happened, I don't want that to happen to my son. The black woman sees that. So the black woman tells the son, oh no, you can't be like this. And you gravitate towards the white man because that's what you see. That's what you're seeing. Now, obviously, we don't live like that no more. I hope we ain't living like that no more. Ain't nobody getting their ass whooped. Ain't nobody, getting hanged because, there's none of that going on. But just like how Nikki said, it's a inner type of deal that's going on with black women. We're living in this time now to where anything can happen. So the stigma needs to be, why not uplift each other, starting with, the black man and the black woman, and I'm only stressing that because white people, Arabics, Chinese people, they only trade within their race. That's why the Chinese, they're wealthy. That's why the Irish, they're wealthy. That's, so there's nothing wrong with I'm supporting black people being with black people. I'm never gonna not support that. Now,
that's an issue within our that's the issue within our culture in itself.
Go ahead.
That's an issue within our culture in itself, not just in relationships, just the culture. And I'll say that as a business owner. You see, even scrolling social media, and sometimes I get on social media and post stuff and get off because it's so toxic. Even from people who I know personally, I'm like, yeah, let me get off this. Because as a culture, it's so easy to say something negative about your fellow brother, sister, black person, right? But within other races, I don't see that. Or the support, or, just, it's like, oh, she did good, but.
Right.
Oh, he did good, but.
Yeah, it's always some type of.
Yeah, I'm proud of them, but girl, guess what? And it's like, instead, okay, for example, I met a couple, Terrence and I had lunch one Sunday with a couple who I met. A lady got her hair braided at our salon. And she was just talking to me, and I'm so personable. I talk to everybody. And so that next week, she invited us to have lunch. We went to the harbor and had lunch with she and her husband. Her husband was a former Marine as well. And she said she dealt with that too as business owners. They have Airbnbs in Tulum. And she spoke with a friend who's African-American trying to get insight on how to, purchase these Airbnbs in Tulum because it's another country. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll give you the information. Oh, well, it's always this and her. It was a Caucasian person who gave her the information. Who was like, hey, yeah, let me get you with this person. Let me show you what you need to do. And, so on and so forth. But it's always like that crab on a barrel mentality, or, it's just an issue within our culture. So when you see someone uplifting somebody, it kind of feels awkward at first, like, oh, thanks, but what you want in return? Or because you're so used to the negative going against each other. And so that's transferred in relationships, I think.
I agree. I mean, and it's funny that you say that because that's how us as black men feel black women do us. Is, not in a sense of putting us down, but in a sense of, okay, yeah, he doing this, but like it's always something that comes with that. And I want to get to my comment real quick. If everybody can see my man Brian Williams, thank you for joining. I definitely need you on an episode.
I love his comment.
Yeah, like he is so CJ, I think this will be a good episode for you as well. Once I get him on as well, for you to sit in on. This man just means he knows so much about Black history, and
Right.
he really, really. I think you guys could relate on a lot of things, but what he's basically saying is, us as Black men, yeah, you can date outside your race, or you can sleep with, whatever woman you want to sleep with, but 9 times out of 10, you ain't coming home with her. You ain't being brought home. You're not
Yeah.
like how many. And for me, CJ, how I look at it and how I feel about certain things is I see so much of Black men dating outside the race or taking on children that are not theirs, which is cool. I'm not knocking that. I've done that myself.
Nah, I'm knocking that shit. That shit makes me cry. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, what the hell, brother? What you doing?
But
Go ahead, Justin.
you also got to understand, and that's a great man. We can keep this going all night, but that's a great topic as well to think about. And Shanika, I want your thoughts on it as well.
I had to run and get a charger. I'm sorry.
No. We're gonna make this our final.
Okay. Tell me what the question was.
So my question was when and me and CJ were just talking about this while you left to get your charger. Was Black men taking on children that are not theirs.
And
what
about it?
Well, CJ's like he said, he hurts for that.
Hell no. I ain't with that shit whatsoever. Next. The hell? Hey, hell no. What are we doing? What is that?
What does he mean? Okay, start over. Taking on children that's not theirs. What do they mean? Like dating a woman who already has children or something?
I guess you could say dating a woman that has children, or also.
Oh, wait. Okay, my bad. See, I must have understood that. No, not. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No offense to the stepmamas, to the stepdaddies. No offense. My bad.
That's what I thought, because I thought when I heard his response, I thought maybe you meant like adopting outside of your race or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
He was like, hell,
I thought
like
that. What? Yeah, nah. I'm sorry. My bad. Stepmamas and stepdaddies cool. I'm sorry. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not saying dating. I'm not saying, the stepmom, stepfather, adopting. I'm saying that most of us as Black men, especially when you get to a certain age, why is it so common for us to expect, and this is just for you, CJ, why is it so common for us to expect for a Black woman to have a child or multiple children? To the point where if you approach a woman and maybe your second or third date, maybe how many kids you got? Well, how many baby daddies you got?
All right. Well, I'm going to just keep it short and simple. I'm going to keep it a trill because you're 36, which I did not know. I thought you were like, oh, he left? Oh, just need to come back in here. I can talk to you, my sister. That's good. Okay. So I'm 24. Justin is 36. So, okay, there you go, Justin. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, cool. But I can talk to both of y'all. But me personally, and it might be like a adult immature thing because y'all both around the same age. Well, I already got my woman, but I'm not dealing with nobody that has a kid. And that's just me personally. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with being a stepdad or stepmom. I ain't gonna diss that. Okay. But I'm gonna just say the reason is because we already kind of know, you know what, you gonna have that one baby daddy that you just slept around with and you had a kid by him. So it's just kind of like, okay, now you got the kid, now he ain't there. So you expect me, you expect me to be the winner you thought you had when you got with a loser. That's why I can't go down like that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of why I'm like, you know what, now, because you thought he was the guy. What I do, man? What's up, man? But yeah, but you thought he was the guy, and I'm not about to sit and I'm not about to be that fool. Nah, you can go
But
with the homeboy you thought that was, so but go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
but that's not the scenario for a lot of situations. Like, she thought that he was the guy, and then it didn't work. They had a kid and it didn't work out. And she's with you or the next guy because she thinks he's the one, or it's a meal ticket or whatever the case. I'm not sure. For me, for example, we're a blended family because we were both previously married.
Right.
So I have a daughter from a previous marriage, and my husband has a daughter and a son from a previous marriage. You see what I'm saying? And at some point, we did think that they were the one, or whatever the case. But it's not that we got with each other because it's like, oh, I think you're a meal ticket or you can do something for me. No, because we had to grow to who we are today. But I see where you're saying, because like you said, you started saying you're 24. So
I'm only 24.
Yeah, but it's a preference. You're okay it's okay to have a preference. In life we have to know what we want and what we don't want. And sometimes we don't know that until later in life, and you go through these situations. But because you are 24, you already know that, hey, it works. And if that works for you and your significant other, that's perfect,
Right.
But Justin, what are your thoughts on that? Because you have a blended family as well.
Oh yeah. For me personally, like I said, being 25 and really not being mature enough or having that understanding and having a child, which was, I can say that now, like I honestly had no business of having a child at 25 because I wasn't mentally ready for that responsibility. Now, with Melissa, of course, she brings 2 kids as well out of a marriage, though. And that was big for me. This woman had the experience of being married. She had something that I have never, had before. And we didn't have our child until we knew that what we meant to each other. And my understanding of children and the role that I play as a father was a lot more clear than what it was at 25. So for me personally, I love blended families. But what I'm speaking to is, in today's society, it's so normal for us to, and I only really truly see that within the Black or brown community. I don't really see too many white single mothers that are advertised or put out there as if like, oh, okay, well, this woman had babies out of wedlock, or this woman, did things that, or made the mistake of having a baby super young. Now with shows like 16 and Pregnant, yeah, that's becoming the norm, but that's something that I feel plagues us as well within the Black community is, hey, women and men both. You need to understand who you are as an individual before you start, sleeping around or having sex, unprotected sex with someone that you may spend the rest of your life with. And that's true because honestly, us as men, especially at young age, you're not thinking long term, and you ain't thinking with this head either.
You ain't thinking with that,
yeah,
brother.
thinking with
right? You feel me?
Your long term isn't that. Your long term is more so along the lines of in the moment, right now. I love this woman right now. She's good right now. But when there's no other substance there, or you as a man can't provide any other substance besides the physical attraction of that woman or that lust that you have for that woman, it does make it extremely hard. So I mean, I agree. I totally agree with what you said, Nikki. And I just want for us to be able to, the mistakes that we have made as young adults, I want us to be able to tell our teenagers, tell our other younger adults, CJ, prime example, like being able to share, being able to share that wisdom or share your experience with someone else that's younger than you. You'll be surprised the impact that you'll have on their lives. And I wish that I had these type of conversations early on a lot of the mistakes that I made in life, I probably wouldn't have made. But
yeah, same thing with me. I was raised in a very strict household, but these discussions weren't there. So discussions that I have with my daughters are completely different. Than like I'm very open, honest, blunt, just
right.
So wherever you do make mistakes, so like because we all make mistakes, but you won't start too far away without you following that path because you had a blueprint and because my mom told me this may happen. And it works because I am so vocal in the home to where when something does happen, it's like, Mama, you said that was going to happen. You said this, that, and the third, So, it works. And I think that's something too with our culture. Sometimes we don't do that. We're not as vocal. It's more so what you bet not do. But let me tell you what happens if you do that.
Right.
And why you don't want to do that. Or let me tell you another way in order to achieve this. Instead of don't do that because I said so.
Right. And usually if you tell a kid that kid is going to want to do exactly what you said. Don't do. Because you gave no explanation. You gave really no example of what not to do. My parent is telling me this or my mother's telling me this because of what? Okay, well, maybe it didn't work out for her, but I'm different or my situation is going to be different. So let's go ahead and wrap up, guys. We've been on for way over my hour that I, usually do. So I want to go ahead and open up the floor for you guys to give your final words, final thoughts. And if you would, Nikki, CJ, please share your social media or how the people can contact you, especially you, Nikki, being a business owner.
Okay. But I want to start by saying thank you for allowing me, to visit your platform. I really enjoyed the discussion. And I think this discussion is really important, not just for relationships, Black men, Black women, but everyone to give a different, even if you have, other races watching, give a perspective, a greater perspective on why our culture are like we are in a sense, because we made the points of, inherited trauma, so on and so forth. So we don't have to live up to that stereotype. It gives others a greater understanding of us. But I enjoyed the show, not just for that reason, but the discussions that were more, less of an opinion, I would say. But other than that, thank you for having me on. Nice to meet you, CJ.
I can go ahead and take it off from here. CJ Boyd, exactly. Y'all can add me.
Oh yeah, I didn't say that. I'll say it at the end.
No. I just want to say, to my young Black men out there, if y'all ain't supporting the sisters, what y'all doing? But this is me coming from a pro-Black man, because like I said, we can only, we have to grow within each other. Yes, I am going to think if you're a Black man dating a white woman, I'm going to think you're a little whack. If you're a Black man dating a Chinese woman, I'm going to think you a little whack, because we need this interracial dating. Call me old school, but you know what? They didn't want us dating they white people. They didn't want us dating the white people, all that. So you know what? Let's keep it all in the family. And I'm just speaking as brothers and sisters that are not in the intermediate family already. But that's all I gotta say. Stay Black, stay beautiful, stay proud. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, and you can reach me on social media at CP Wigs and Beauty. CP Wigs and then AND Beauty. If you're in a Forney area, Dallas, I have customers come from all over, even Fort Worth. We are at 13960 FM 548 in Forney, Texas, CP Wigs and Beauty. And we are at 13980 FM 548, Beauty Bar by CP. You can also visit our website, CROWNEDPOUS.com, if you're interested in custom wigs or raw hair extensions. Thank you for having me on, Justin. I really enjoyed it.
All righty. So I want to just give a quick shout out to, once again, BS3 Network. and everyone, every podcast on the network. I think we guys are, we have some amazing things coming up. We have some amazing podcasts that are going now. So I encourage everyone to please just check out the network, check out some of the shows, and be ready to be entertained, be ready to be informed, be ready to be enlightened. Once again, I want to thank my guests for joining me today, and we're out. Y'all have a good one.
Good
All
night,
right, you too.
everybody.